this quarterback can hit the receiver, and it can hurt you.
Well, here we go. Second and a foot to go. Powell's got Billy Moore and Sean Anthony in the backfield. It's going to the first man for a touchdown, and that looked like Billy Moore.
Yeah, that was the dive man. The first man up in the eye just took the ball and leaped in. I guess he has leaping ability. All right, here is the up man in the I formation diving over the goal line. It's very hard to stop, particularly if he gets his legs up, his feet up off the air, and he just went over the tackler. Now, I'm assuming that the Oak Park coach will go 2 again here if he did before.
I would go 2, wouldn't you?
He more or less has to now.
Yeah, he dug a hole for himself here.
Yeah, once that happens, once you do it the first time, you have to kind of keep repeating it.
Looking to tie the game at half. There's the pitch out wide. In for 2. And that ball went to number 3, Clarence Ross.
They went out of a wishbone formation, which is a power formation in close. Michigan uses that a lot. He got the block. Here they come out of a wishbone. Oak Park gets some good blocking on the outside. The ball carrier reads the blocks and just goes to the outside toward the flag. Picks up a really crucial 2 points. Now the thing is all even.
All even. Berkley to get the ball. Still 4 minutes and 26 seconds to go before halftime. Still time for somebody to score, but this is a new ball game. And, of course, the nervousness of Oak Park seems to be gone right now.
Well, that was an awfully big series of plays for them, because Berkley had just scored, held them on 4th down, just scored on a 62-yard run by Jeff Burks, and then Oak Park came right back to score. So it's a big lift for the night.
Certainly a big game for both teams, and both of these squads will be telling their grandkids about in about 50 years.
Oh, that's right. Playing in the dome.
Yeah, I remember I played in the dome. Yeah.
But probably in 50 years, all the high school fields will have domes. But yes, it's a wonderful, wonderful experience.
Lonnie Wright.
And I know what the Oak Park is saying. The Oak Park coach is saying, their defensive coach, you've got to stop number 22. He's the key to the game so far for Berkley.
Lonnie Wright puts a good leg into this one. It's going to go down to the end zone. Oh, touchback is called.
Now that's an interesting call because they're going to call it a touchback, I guess. All right, here's another good kick by the Oak Park kicker, and it's tricky because the Berkley receiver catches the ball here, but he steps back over the line, and they call it a touchback.
Bill Baker wanted to motor down the field, but the officials had something else to say about it.
To tell you the truth, I don't quite understand the call. I don't think that was an automatic touchback just because he went back.
Yeah, you know, like I said about the 4-minute warning, and there are different rules for different leagues, and you get them up to center. Ashcroft makes 5.
Berkley seems to be able to run around the ends and up the middle against Oak Park, even though Oak Park outweighs them quite a bit. Berkley line is blocking very well.
Well, Berkley's established Jeff Burks as a premier runner, and now they can go away from Jeff Burks a little bit, and makes Ashcroft a much more valuable runner.
Yeah, Ethan Goldsmith is doing some very good blocking up front there.
And it goes again. Ashcroft again, this time a gain of 3. So we're going to have 3rd and 2.
Ethan Goldsmith, Rob Rose, those are the main blockers. Eric Fairman, who was their number 1 lineman, broke his leg in the first quarter of the first game this year, and it's too bad they really miss him. He would have been their pulling guard, which is their key strong side guard for the Berkley offense, but the other players are filling in nicely.
3rd and 2.
Guess who?
Jeff Burks for a first down. Time will be a factor. You can grind it out all you want, but that's the 3rd play from scrimmage. Already took over a minute.
All right, here, there's no surprise that Jeff Burks got the ball here on the power handoff. He cuts up inside, picks up the first down, keeps his legs moving.
Yeah, the ball was squirted loose there for a little bit.
Yeah.
But the ground can't cause a fumble. Three 3:04 on the clock before halftime. Berkley on their own 32-yard line. It's going to be a pass play. Air it out. Sayakowski has the ball. No, he's a host of tacklers led by number 3, and that's Clarence Ross.
I'm very impressed by Trevor Miles. He reads the pattern well. He knows who his receiver is, and he put the ball right on his numbers.
2nd 3.
All All right, here's a very nice, well-executed pass play. Trevor Miles puts the ball right in Zakowski's numbers. As I said, Steve Zakowski's a very sure-handed receiver, and he made the most out of that.
On the low part of your screen, it looks like Ryan Cascade ready to receive a pass. And no, it's not going to be a pass. It is. Play action. Like almost throwing it away.
Well,
but
statistically, they have a new statistic called the hurry. And sacks are one thing, but if you can hurry a quarterback the way Oak Park did, it causes.
Well, the clock stops with that pass that didn't connect. Now it's 3rd and 3. And Berkley has to get a first down. I don't think they want to give the ball back to Oak Park with the success they're having with the passing game.
No, they'll probably pass. I would look for Zakowski or a flare pass maybe to Jeff Burks. No.
There's Burks, breaks one tackle, gets his first down. He's up to the 48-yard line.
Well, Oak Park simply can't stop that play. And if they're going to have success this afternoon or this morning, they're going to have to stop Burks because that really was kind of a passing situation. But they went to Burks, who was the sure one, and he picked up the first down. And I know that Oak Park is keying on him, but they can't stop him.
1st and 10, the ball on the 47-yard line.
I think I'm calling Jeff. He told me the other day he does not want to be called Jeff.
And whatever you want to call him, he's in trouble right now. Burks is down for a loss of 3.
Well, they run him. All right, here comes Jeff Burks back to the opposite side, the left side. He gets one block here, but somebody didn't block the linebacker, and he makes a good tackle on Burks. Number 51 brought him down.
Only a loss of 2. It's going to be a 2nd and 12. And Berkley in a little trouble right now as they're trying to get a first down. Miles passing out, steps up into the pocket nicely. Okay, a nice reception for a first down by John Kay.
Yeah, very nice. John Kay dropped one earlier, but being the good ball player he is, he made up for it this time because the pass wasn't as well thrown as the one he dropped, but he stuck his hand out there, picked it out of the air, and got the reception and a first down. Huge play for Berkley. Even if Berkley doesn't score, you're right, Larry, they would like very much to keep the ball out of Oak Park's hands here. That would be a big way to end the half.
The clock's counting. It's 1.5 minutes to go before the end of this quarter. And there's Zakowski. Oh, the ball just seems to go right through his arm. He had a little bit of running room.
Yeah, that was a classic case, though. He knew he was in the open, and he started running before he caught the ball.
Timeout, Berkley.
Pat Fox walks out with him and said, "That's all right, Steve. Just don't do that again, or I'll kill you."
The score, 14-14, Berkley versus Oak Park. We'll be back with you in just a moment.
May I help you? Yeah! I want something good for my heart. What do you know what I mean? How about pasta with fruit?
That's great!
For a happy heart.
The American Heart Association says...
Welcome back, 14-14 to score. There's only a minute and a half to go before the end of the first half of football. We've seen a great game so far. Both teams showing their offensive power and both teams showing their defensive ability, and yet we've got 4 touchdowns in the game. Two touchdowns for each team.
This is definitely an offensive game, and I thought it would be. Berkley has really proved that they can run the ball and pass the ball very well. They have a very good offense.
Miles, the quarterback. Zakowski way up on top. The motion man will be Cascade. Miles looks deep. He's going to run. He's sidestepping some trouble. He's running the wrong way. And number 51, Ed Harris, says, "I got you."
Well, probably under those circumstances, Trevor was very smart not to just wing it out there, because he would have made a soft pass out into the flat a long distance. It might have hurt him. But he looked, and then he hung on to it and did the best.
Minute and 7 on the clock. It's still counting. 3rd and, what do they say, 17 to go?
3rd and a mile.
Little mix-up all over the place. Looked like it was an end around.
Yes, that was an inside handoff to, was that?
Cascade.
Ryan Cascade. He's the wingback. He came back on the inside. They tried to fool him, but it didn't fool anybody there. Ryan is a gutsy kid. He does the wingback, in his position, wingback. He has to do a lot of the blocking. He also plays on the offensive line, or the defensive line. He's a very tough, not big, but a very tough little kid.
Well, I'll tell you, opportunity only knocks once, and the coaching staff of Oak Park says we have an opportunity time to get the ball back. Berkley's going to have to kick. There's 47 seconds on the clock. Try to block the punt if you can, and if you can't, you got a couple plays from scrimmage and you can do some motoring on.
Yeah, and I know that Oak Park has scouted Berkley, and they know that Berkley is vulnerable on the punt returns. As I said, Southfield's quarterback returned 2 for 60 yards apiece a week ago. Andover returned a punt, and so Berkley's thinking about that right now. And so is Oak Park.
14-14 to score. High school football at one of its finest moments right here. Two very well-coached teams.
Yes, they are. Both teams are executing very well. I'm very impressed with Oak Park's ability to pass. Paul is an excellent passer. He's laid 2 of them out there for big gains, 1 a touchdown and 1 that set up a touchdown. He's a good passer. That's the one thing that Berkley will have to talk about at halftime, how to stop that long pass.
Well, going back is Paul, the quarterback, to receive the ball. Along with him is Clarence Ross, who's all over my score sheet as he scored on a 23-yard pass, and again was a 2-point conversion. Good kick. It's off of Barber. It's down to Ross. Fumble. And on it. Berkley. They've got it on a 20. Number 24, Steve Zajkowski, I think was the first one down. 39 seconds on the clock.
Humongous break for Berkley there. That's exactly what Oak Park didn't want to do. I'm a little surprised that the back came up and tried to field it. He didn't. It turns the ball over back to Berkley. This is what the Oak Park coach was talking about. Berkley has now a great opportunity with 39 seconds to play to go ahead in this game.
No huddle. Line it up. Oak Park looks confused, and they're going to have to call a timeout.
That's the type of turnaround that so devastates the other team that they have to worry about it. Timeout is very smart here because they can be racked back on their heels after that fumble, and a quick strike would put them ahead.
Well, Zajkowski, who recovered that fumble, probably in my estimation one of the best all-around players on the team because of his defensive ability and offensive ability.
Steve is just such a valuable player in everything they do. He kicks the extra points. He's one of the best kickers. He's by far the best receiver, and he's just all over the field as it showed on that play to recover the punt. A very, very good ball player, and they're lucky to have him.
Well, the threat might be over for Oak Park as far as scoring in this half, but it's really real for the Berkley team right now as they're on their 21-yard line with 34 seconds on the clock.
Yes, and Berkley has 2 timeouts left here, which is very important. Oak Park has used all their timeouts. They had to use this one, but it's very important. So they have 34 seconds with 2 timeouts, which could sometimes lead up to an hour and a half of excellent football.
It was wise of Oak Park to call the timeout, but it certainly, I think, benefited the Berkley team more now as Pat Fox had the opportunity to go on the field and talk.
Yes, it gave him time to talk about this next play and probably the next 2 or 3 plays. Fox is a good coach, smart coach, and he'll talk over the whole situation here for the next 3 or 4 plays. This could turn the game around.
Well, we'll see. The big play right now from the 21-yard line, 1st and 10, 34 seconds on the clock. Miles goes back, looks for Zajkowski, going right in the corner. Overthrown, just out of reach for Steve.
Good play though. Trevor threw the ball very well. The key there is if he catches it, if it's right on the money, it's a touchdown. If he doesn't, it's overthrown, so they eliminate the possibility of the interception. So that was a very good, very well executed play.
Well, Steve's going in at 5'11", 150 pounds. I believe he would have liked to have a couple more inches on him right there.
Oh yeah. He's a very sure receiver. Reminds me a lot of Brian Brennan from the Cleveland Browns.
And the running play, gain of about 5, good play. You know, you wonder if that little screen might work right now.
Yes, they have a screen that goes out to Jeff Burks, which would be a very good call here. That was an interesting call where they ran up the middle. I guess they were just trying to fool him, and they made good yardage, but they don't have time to do that, although Berkley had the luxury of having 2 timeouts, so as soon as the play was over, they called their timeout.
3rd and 4. The ball on the 15-yard line, and of course, with 23 seconds on the clock, you've got 2 down yardage right here. I don't know if you want to try the field goal or not.
Well, it's interesting. Zajkowski has shown that he can kick a field goal, and certainly if they didn't succeed here and the yardage was still long on 3rd down, if they did kick a field goal, it would be a great boon to Berkley. That's actually what happened last week against Andover's big tackle, number 73, kicked a 35-yard field goal, and that turned out to be the winning 3 points in the game.
Well, a successful play already for Berkley was that little screen pass. And
yeah, I'd look for that again here. This is third and about, what do they got there, 5
it's
or 4.